Hello, and welcome to Beach Schmidt Performing Arts Center here on the campus of Fort Hays State University. And I would just like to welcome you all to the Hays High School Winter Concert. We have a lot of music for you this evening, and I can't wait to share it all with you. During some of our transition times, I've invited some people to share some poems to hopefully keep you engaged in the spirit of things, so you're not just watching us move chairs and stands for 10 minutes. So anyway, know that will happen. And our first reader is Eric Lucio. He's a senior at Hays High School and in Chamber Singers, and I'll let him tell you what he's reading. Welcome and enjoy this evening.
The Shortest Day by Susan Cooper. So the shortest day came, and the year died, and everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing, dancing, to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight this shortest day. As promise wakens in the sleeping land, they carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love for their friends and hope for peace. And so do we, here, now, this year, and every year. Welcome Yule.
and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing.
Don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend a hand. For the times they are a-changing. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last. The first one now will later be last. The first one now will later be last. Times they are a-changing. Times they are a-changing.
Christmas in the Heart by Paul Laurence Dunbar. The snow lies deep upon the ground, and winter's brightness all around decks bravely out the forest sere with jewels of the brave old year. The coasting crowd upon the hill with some new spirit seems to thrill, and all the temple bells a-chime ring out the glee of Christmas time. In happy homes, the brown oak bough vies with the red gemmed holly now, and here and there, like pearls, there show the berries of the mistletoe. A sprig upon the chandelier says to the maidens, "Come not here." Even the pauper of the earth some kindly gift has cheered to mirth. In his chamber dim and cold, there sits a grasping miser old. He has no thought save one of gain, to grind and gather and grasp and drain. A peal of bells, a merry shout, assail his ear. He gazes out upon a world to him all gray and snarls, "Why, this is Christmas Day." No man of ice, for shame, for shame, for Christmas Day is no mere name. No, not for you this ringing cheer, this festal season of the year, and not for you the chime of bells from holy temple rolls and swells. In day and deed, he has no part, who holds not Christmas in his heart.
Christ.
Good evening. We're going to have all kinds of activity here in just a few seconds, so we're going to sit back and enjoy The Boy Who Laughed at Santa Claus by Ogden Nash. In Baltimore, there lived a boy. He wasn't anybody's joy. Although his name was JBs Daws, his character was full of flaws. In school, he never led his classes. He hid old ladies' reading glasses. His mouth was open whenever he chewed, and elbows were always to the table glued. He stole the milk of hungry kittens, and he just walked right through doors that said, "No admittance." He said he acted thus because there wasn't any Santa Claus. Another trick that tickled JBs was crying "boo" at little babies. He brushed his teeth, they said in town, sideways instead of up and down. Yet people pardoned every sin and viewed his antics with a grin, till they were told by JB's Daws, there isn't any Santa Claus. Deploring how he did behave, his parents swiftly sought their grave. They hurried through the portals early, and Jabez left the funeral early. Like whooping cough from child to child, he sped to spread the rumor wild. Sure as my name is JB's Daws, there isn't any Santa Claus. He slunk like a weasel of a martin through the nursery and the kindergarten, whispering low to every tot, there isn't any. Oh no, there's not. The children wept all Christmas Eve, and JB's chortled up his sleeve. No infant dared hang up their stocking for fear of JB's ribald mocking. Well, he sprawled on his untidy bed, fresh malice dancing in his head, when presently, with his scalp a-tingling, JB's heard a distant jingling. He heard the crunch of sleigh and hoof crisply alighting on the roof. What good to rise and bar the door? A shower of soot was on the floor. What was beheld by JB's Daws? The fireplace full of Santa Claus. Then JB's fell down upon his knees with cries of "Don't!" and "Oh, pretty please." He howled, I don't know where you read it, but anyhow, I never said it." "JB's," replied the angry saint, "it isn't I, it's you that ain't. Although there is a Santa Claus, there isn't any JB's Daws." Said JB's with impudent vim, "Oh yes there is, and I am him. Your magic doesn't scare me, it doesn't." And suddenly he found he wasn't. From grimy feet to grimy locks, JB's became a jack-in-the-box, an ugly toy with springs unsprung, forever sticking out his tongue. The neighbors heard his mournful squeal. They searched for him, but not with zeal. No trace was found of JB's Daws, which led to a thunderous applause. And people drank a loving cup and went and hung their stockings up. All you who sneer at Santa Claus, beware the fate of JB's Daws, the saucy boy who mocked the saint. Donner and Blitzen just licked off his jack-in-the-box paint. So beware, everyone. And as the wonderful team here continues their work, we've got another story for you, and we're going to shift gears a little bit. This story was originally published in the December 14th, 1982 issue of Woman's Day magazine. It was the first place winner out of thousands of entries in the magazine's contest, My Most Moving Holiday Tradition. It was a contest in which readers were asked to share their favorite holiday traditions and the story that came behind it. Now, the story that I'm about to share so inspired a family from Atlanta, Georgia, that it started the White Envelope Project and Giving 101, a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to educating youth about the importance of giving. The Man Who Hated Christmas by Nancy W. Gavin. It's just a small white envelope stuck among the branches of our Christmas tree. No name, no identification, no inscription. It has peeked through the branches of our tree for the past 10 years or so. It all began those years ago because my husband Mike hated Christmas. Oh no, not the true meaning of Christmas, but the commercial aspects of it, the overspending, the frantic running around at the last minute to get a tie for Uncle Henry or dusting powder for Grandma, the gifts that are given in desperation because you just couldn't think of anything else. Knowing that he felt this way, I decided one year that I was going to bypass the usual shirts and sweaters and the ties and so forth. I kept reaching for something special just for Mike. And the inspiration came in an unusual way. Our son Kevin, who was 12 that year, was wrestling at the junior level at the school that he attended. And shortly before Christmas, there was a non-league match against a team that was just sponsored by an inner-city church. These youngsters, dressed in sneakers so ragged that their shoestrings seemed to be the only thing that held those sneakers together. And that presented a sharp contrast to our boys in their spiffy blue and gold uniforms and their sparkling new wrestling shoes. As the match began, I was actually alarmed to see that the other team was wrestling without headgear, a kind of light helmet that's designed to protect the wrestler's ears. I guess it was a luxury that the ragtag team could obviously not afford. Well, we ended up walloping them. We took every weight class. And as each of their boys got up from the mat, he swaggered around in his tatters with a false bravado, kind of a street pride that just wouldn't acknowledge defeat. Mike, seated beside me, just shook his head sadly. I just wish one of them could have won, he said. They have a lot of potential, but losing like this could just take the fight and the heart right out of them. Mike loved kids, all kids. And he knew them all, having coached Little League, football, baseball, lacrosse. That's when the idea for his present came to me. That afternoon, I went to a local sporting goods store and I bought an assortment of wrestling headgear and shoes, and I sent them anonymously to that inner city church. On Christmas Eve, I placed the envelope on the tree with a note inside telling Mike what I had done and that this was his gift from me. His smile was the brightest thing about that Christmas, that year and in each succeeding year. For each Christmas, I followed the tradition, one year sending a group of mentally handicapped youngsters to a hockey game, Another year, a check to a pair of elderly brothers whose home had burned to the ground just the week before Christmas, and on and on. The envelope became the highlight of our Christmas. It was always the last thing opened on Christmas morning, and our children, ignoring their new toys, would stand with wide-eyed anticipation as their dad lifted that envelope from the tree to reveal its contents. As the children grew, the toys gave way to more practical presents, but that envelope never lost its allure. And the story doesn't end there. You see, we lost Mike last year to dreaded cancer. When Christmas rolled around, I was still so wrapped in grief that I barely got the tree up. But Christmas Eve found me placing an envelope on the tree. And in the morning, it was joined by 3 more. Each of our children, unbeknownst to the others, had placed an envelope on the tree for their dad. The tradition has grown, and someday it will expand even further, with our grandchildren standing to take down the envelope. Mike's spirit, like the spirit of Christmas itself, will always be with us. And if you'd like to learn more about this story or more about this project, you can check out whiteenvelopeproject.org. Thank you.
That first tune was an arrangement of The Night Has a Thousand Eyes. That was arranged by Roger Holmes. Our second piece on the evening and final for the jazz band is entitled Back to the Basement. That's by Brett Zvacek.
Snowy Night by Mary Oliver. Last night, an owl in the blue dark tossed an interminate number of carefully shaped sounds into the world, in which, a quarter of a mile away, I happened to be standing. I couldn't tell which one it was, the bard or the great horned ship of the air. It was distant, but anyway, aren't there moments that are better than knowing something and sweeter? Snow was falling, so much like stars, feeling the dark trees that one could easily imagine its reason for being was nothing more than prettiness. I suppose if this were someone else's story, they would have insisted on knowing whatever is knowable, would have hurried over the fields to name it the owl. But it's mine, the poem of the night. And I just stood there listening and holding out my hands to the soft glitter falling through the air. I love this world, but not for its answers. And I wish good luck to the owl, whatever its name. And I wish great welcome to the snow, whatever its severe and comfortless and beautiful meaning. Taking down the tree, Jane Kenyon. Give me some light, cries Hamlet's uncle midway through the murder of Gonzago. Light, light, cry scattering crustaceans. Here, as in Denmark, it's dark at 4, and even the moon shines with only half a heart. The ornaments go down into the box, the silver spaniel, my darling, on its collar. From mother's childhood to Illinois. The balsa jumping jack my brother and I fought over, pulling limb from limb. Mother drew it together again with thread while I watched, feeling depraved at the age of 10. With something more than caution, I handle them, and the lights, with their tin-shaped star reflectors, brought along from house to house. Their pasteboard, toy suitcases, and increasingly flimsy tick, tick, the desiccated needles drop. By supper time, all that remains is the scent of balsam fir. If it's darkness we're having, let it be extravagant.
Work of Christmas by Howard Thurman. When the song of angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins to find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among us all, to make music in the heart.
Good evening. Thank you for coming out. The last piece on the orchestra portion is going to be Winter from Vivaldi's Four Seasons. I'd like to welcome out 2 out of the 3 soloists. One is going to be our concertmaster, Evan Cox, and the other one's going to be Dr. Buxted from Fort Hays and our very own Mr. Nathan Mark.
Frozen and trembling in the icy snow, in the severe blast of the horrible wind. As we run, we constantly stamp our feet, and our teeth chatter in the cold. to spend happy and quiet days near the fire, while outside the rain soaks hundreds. We walk on the ice with slow steps and tread carefully for fear of falling. Symphony, if we go quickly, we slip and fall to the ground. Again, we run on the ice until it cracks and opens. We hear from closed doors Sirocco, Boreas, and all the winds in battle. This is winter, but it brings joy.
This wonderful work by Maya Angelou is entitled Amazing Peace. Thunder rumbles in the mountain passes, and lightning rattles the eaves of our houses. Floodwaters await in our avenues. Snow falls upon snow, falls upon snow, to avalanche over unprotected villages. The sky slips slow and gray and threatening. We question ourselves. What have we done to so affront nature? We interrogate and worry God. Are you there? Are you there really? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? Into this climate of fear and apprehension, Christmas enters. Streaming lights of joy, ringing bells of hope, and singing carols of forgiveness high up in the bright air. The world is encouraged to come away from rancor, come the way of friendship. It is the glad season. Thunder ebbs to silence, and lightning sleeps quietly in the corner. Floodwaters recede into memory. Snow becomes a yielding cushion to aid us as we make our way to higher ground. Hope is born again in the faces of children. It rides on the shoulders of our aged as they walk into their sunsets. Hope spreads around the earth, brightening all things, even hate, which crouches breeding in dark corridors. In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first, it is too soft, then only half heard. We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear a sweetness. The word is peace. It's loud now, louder than the explosion of the bombs. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for. It's not just the absence of war, but true peace, a harmony of spirit, a comfort of courtesies, security for our beloveds and their beloveds. We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us. We, Baptist and Buddhist, Methodist and Muslim, say, "Come, peace. Come and fill us and our world with your majesty." We, the Jew and the Jainist, the Catholic and the Confucian, implore you to stay a while with us, so we may learn by your shimmering light how to look beyond complexion and to see community. It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves to ourselves and to each other. At this holy instant, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ into the great religions of the world. We jubilate the precious advent of trust. We shout with glorious tongues the coming of hope. All the earth's tribes loosen their voices to celebrate the promise of peace. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, we shout with glorious tongues the coming of hope. All the earth's tribes loosen their voices. Look heavenward and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at our world and we speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my brother. Peace, my sister. Peace, my soul. Amen.
That first work, the title translated to English is roughly The Only Light, and it was written as a memorial and celebration of a music educator. And particularly, this piece is dedicated to the students of rural schools, and I think that's rather fitting that we play that here in Western Kansas for groups that are often understaffed but still strive to put on strong music performances, and are often, as the title suggests, the only light of music in their community. Our next piece is a wonderful programmatic work. We look to take you to warmer times and hopefully some nostalgia. This is entitled Resplendent Light on Walden Pond by Tyler Grant. before we play our final number, I just wanted to thank you all so much for spending your evening with us. This has been a very special program, and as you can see, we've taken the light part of Love, Light, and Cheer quite literally in some cases. Trumpets. But it's fun. It's good stuff. This final piece for you is a personal favorite of mine, and it's truly exciting to be able to do this and perform it for you tonight. This is Jay Bocook's Into the Light. so much for coming out. Have a wonderful evening.